15 crazy expensive things El Chapo owns. Welcome to Alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. If you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out. Hello Aluxers, and welcome to another exciting original video presented by Alux.com. People say that crime doesn't pay, and while we want to agree with this statement, there are certain criminals that clearly prove the opposite. One of these well-known criminals is Mexican drug lord Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo. El Chapo made over $1 billion as the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, an international crime syndicate. At one point, he was the 10th richest man in all of Mexico, but now he's behind bars serving a life sentence for his many crimes. While we would never condone his criminal activities, he was definitely living the good life before being locked up for life. And today we're going to look at some of the luxurious and even outrageous things he spent his money on. While he'll likely never be able to enjoy his expensive toys again, he has escaped prison twice, so some think he'll find a way out of this again and be able to return to his multi-million-dollar estates all over the world. We don't know about that, but we do know what he spent his money on in the past. So let's get started with our list of the 15 most expensive and crazy things El Chapo has bought over the course of his life. Number 15. Ducati Monster, worth $9,000. When you're constantly running from the police, it helps to have a fast motorcycle on hand. El Chapo purchased his Ducati Monster for just this purpose. This fast speedster allowed the head of the drug cartel to navigate the deserts, highways, and backwoods while running from law enforcement. His red and black Ducati motorcycle is one of the fastest in the world. Made in Italy, there are over 300,000 in production. The company began making these bikes back in 1993. Number 14. Dodge Charger, worth $33,000. Over the course of his career, El Chapo made a point of throwing it in the face of law enforcement that he cannot be caught. He's known to be very ostentatious when it comes to showing off his toys and his disdain for the police. Nothing made the cops' blood boil more than when El Chapo commissioned a custom-made Dodge Charger. The car was actually custom-made to be a clone of an American police cruiser. Aside from a police number not being emblazoned on the side, you could hardly tell this car apart from the real thing. He had the car built so he could evade police on long car chases, and for a long time it actually worked. Number 13. Diamond-encrusted pistol, worth $50,000. While it's no surprise that El Chapo has ammunition silos all over the world, his favorite weapon is his diamond-encrusted pistol. He carried his gun with him everywhere. It shows not only that he was always in charge, but his love for bling as well. Although there's no information on exactly who made this gun for the crime lord, similar guns on the market have sold for about $50,000. When El Chapo was most recently arrested, he had his diamond-studded gun with him, so it's now in the hands of the US federal government. In the unlikely event he's released without conditions, they'll have to return the prized pistol to him as it was legally registered in his name. Number 12. Nissan Skyline GTR, worth $110,000. El Chapo doesn't just like to drive fast when he's evading the authorities. He also likes to drive fast just for fun. That's why he bought a 2007 Nissan Skyline GTR. It has a V6 engine and as much as 478 horsepower. Although it doesn't have a stick shift, which didn't make El Chapo happy, it is still one of the faster street racers on the market. This silver model is exactly like the version Paul Walker drove in his movie Too Fast, Too Furious. El Chapo has admitted to being a fan of the movie, so it's no surprise he bought the same car the star drove in the action flick. Like many of his other prized possessions, there's no confirmation what El Chapo paid for this race car, but similar models have sold for as much as $110,000. Number 11. Mercedes-Benz C63 Black Series, worth $126,000. One thing that El Chapo loves is a sleek luxury car that has a lot of horsepower. You'd figure that no matter what he was driving, the man had to be ready to evade law enforcement at any given time. This triple black Mercedes is the highest spec G-Wagon on the market and retails for as much as $126,000. It can be used for off-roading and city driving, which served El Chapo's purposes quite nicely. It has a V8 engine and showcases 537 horsepower. What's more, this car isn't even available to the general public. I guess when you're El Chapo, you know what strings to pull to get a car like this one. Number 10. Chevy Corvette SR1, worth $130,000. To add to his collection of shiny, fast cars, El Chapo bought a white Chevy Corvette SR1. This is one of the fastest and most exclusive cars on the market. It has a 638 horsepower engine and is not even available in the US. Of course, when you're El Chapo, the more expensive, the better. He had no trouble getting his hands on cars like this. It has a 6.2-liter V8 engine and can reach speeds as high as 192 miles per hour. When you spend most of your time running from either the police or rival drug lords, that kind of speed definitely comes in handy. Number 9. Dodge Viper, worth $199,000. If you know anything about fancy sports cars, you know how cool and coveted the Dodge Viper is. They don't make all that many of them, and they're very hard to find on the resale market. El Chapo's Dodge Viper is electric blue with racing stripes. Although the car is tiny, it's super fast, running on a V10 engine. People close to the drug lord say he bought this car because he wanted to remind those around him that he was a fearful and powerful man. The Viper snake is one of the deadliest snakes in the world. This goes a long way towards showing the scary side of El Chapo's personality. Number 8. Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG, worth $300,000. This gorgeous, sleek silver luxury car is made by Mercedes-Benz and one of their most exclusive automobiles. While offering a sleek, shiny design, the SLS AMG can also reach speeds unimaginable in other cars. Boasting over 600 horsepower, it's one of the fastest sports cars in the world. It has gull-wing doors, which can be quite convenient if you need to make a fast getaway, or if you need to open fire on a bunch of thugs coming to steal your cash and drugs. This car was actually the one seized by authorities when El Chapo was arrested, and it will remain in their custody. Number 7. Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren, worth $1.5 million. A lot of us can't even imagine spending $1.5 million on a mansion, so it's a bit mind-boggling that someone would spend this much on a car. But when you're El Chapo and you have cash just burning a hole in your pocket, $1.5 million is a drop in the bucket. El Chapo's McLaren is bright white. Normally, this car has 557 horsepower. However, that wasn't enough for El Chapo. He had a company called Rentec custom make his car, so it had as much as 722 horsepower. It's hard to think of a situation where you'd need to go that fast. But again, things were different in El Chapo's world. He also had the car outfitted to have a special aeronautical exterior so he could go even faster. Number 6. A private ranch in Guadalajara, worth $1.9 million. It's believed that El Chapo has a ranch or estate in every single U.S. state, and the same is true for most of the countries in Central and South America. His private ranch in Guadalajara is said to be worth close to $2 million. There's no exact figure as to how much he paid for this ranch, but similar ranches in the area have sold for that $1.9 million mark. And that may not sound like a ton of money, however, for this part of the world, it is a ton of money. The ranch has private tennis courts and a pool. It's also rumored to have tunnels that El Chapo had built so that he could escape at a moment's notice. They call it his hideout mansion for good reason. Nobody would see him come in, and nobody would see him leave. Number 5. Laguna Mansion, worth $2.2 million. You could write a book about all the properties that El Chapo allegedly owns, but one that we're sure about is the mansion he owns in Laguna, Texas. He actually bought this plot of land and had a home built for his mother. This was his hometown and he wanted her to be able to stay there, but he also wanted her to live in style. The ironic thing about La Tuna is it's also the site of a large federal correction institution. In a way, by building his estate there, El Chapo was mocking the federal authorities. The home was the scene of many gunfights where both El Chapo's men and local citizens were killed. It's also known as the Golden Triangle, one of the central pieces of El Chapo's drug kingdom. Number 4. Private zoo worth $5 million. Having huge mansions and estates was not enough for El Chapo. He wanted his own private zoo, so he had one built. Located just near the coast of Acapulco, this zoo includes lions, tigers, and even crocodiles. El Chapo was fascinated with big cats, so he would keep his zoo stocked with panthers, tigers, and lions at all times. He also had a small train that rides around the zoo, so his guests could see all of the animals in their unnatural habitats. However, one has to wonder, have any of El Chapo's enemies been given a special tour of the zoo? Number 3. Acapulco Beach House, worth $10 million. Before he built his zoo, El Chapo built a luxury beach house right on the coast of Acapulco. This house has a private beach where El Chapo and his guests could enjoy the sun and sand without worrying about rival drug lords crashing the party. The house is huge with tennis courts and pools. Very few who have been there have been willing to describe the inside of the beach house. And of course, El Chapo wasn't going to invite in journalists or photographers from Architectural Digest into his home. This is actually the only asset El Chapo owns that has a known price tag. Number 2. The Yacht El Chapo, worth $275 million. The man is said to have fleets of submarines and freighters ready to carry his drugs and cash all over the world. He's rumored to have entire fleets of private planes that do nothing but transport pounds of cash worldwide. But the only vessel El Chapo admits to having is his yacht, appropriately named El Chapito. Of course, he named the boat after himself. The thing is, the man is El Chapo. He named the boat El Chapito, implying that he's actually larger than his $275 million yacht. The boat is kept docked near his zoo and beach house in Acapulco. Before beginning his prison sentence, it was rumored he would take dozens of models and other guests on the yacht for private parties that would last days on end. Number 1. Carbon fiber super stealth plane, worth $929 million. Well, A-Luxers, we've reached number 1 on our list, and this is the most expensive item El Chapo has bought by far. If you're going to be the number 1 name on the US government's most wanted list, you're going to need to stay incognito. El Chapo was able to do just that for a while in his carbon fiber super stealth plane. He used this plane to transport his drugs, cash, and even himself around the world. The plane was made to avoid detection from radar. The carbon fiber coating allows it to escape both commercial and local radars as well. For this plane, El Chapo actually hired a private pilot. He doesn't like to mix business with pleasure, so the stealth plane was used only for private travel. He just so happened to carry large amounts of cash and drugs with him wherever he went. So there you have it, A-Luxers, the 15 most crazy expensive things El Chapo owns. This is a man of international mystery, so it's not easy to track down all of his toys and playthings. And while he's in federal custody right now, many people think it's just a matter of time before he escapes prison for a 3rd time. It's no secret how he's made his fortune, and while it may be nice to have millions of dollars, what good is any of it if you're behind prison walls? Now, A-Luxers, since we've gone through our list, we'd like to know, if you were getting out of prison, which one of El Chapo's belongings would you want to reclaim first? Let us know in the comments. And of course, for sticking with us until the end, you know what that means. Here's your bonus. Many people say that El Chapo has fleets of trucks, planes, and submarines that are still in operation today. None of these can be tracked back to him, and nobody exactly is sure as to how much they're worth. However, it is believed they are bigger and more valuable than the armies of many small countries. Thank you for spending some time with us, A-Luxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question on our website, Alux.com. Thank you for being an A-Luxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.